students. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much all we have. We're open to questions now.
Did you guys choose a faculty advisor for this, or did you have like someone in mind?
Yeah, we asked a professor. It's in our proposal. Uh,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
he agreed as well. We're just waiting kind of on this.
Mhm. Okay.
Chris, go ahead.
Awesome. So I have a question about the structure of this.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to be hosting your own things? Like, are you going to be working to get speakers in or having get-togethers yourself, or are you mainly going to be working to get IIT students to the broader SACE organization and to their broader events? Or are you going to do
So
both?
yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like to do both. We're in talks with like kind of like other chapters that are already established through Chicago, like U Chicago, they have one at UIC, they have one as well. So kind of what we wanted to do was like first we'd get our own like community here to like and that would just be kind of like to help each other grow through like the IT community, but we'd also like be in communications with other chapters so they can help us like meet new connections, get speakers so they can like offer a different perspective as well.
So thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Seeing no other questions, can I have a motion to move into discussion?
Motion to move in discussion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, so we'll move it into discussion here. You guys have anything you'd like to say? Now's your time. Up to 5 minutes.
I actually would like to address Mahmoud. I know I'm not supposed to right now, but I just wanted to say one thing. I think a lot of the like Asian alumni that we have, they're also interested in like garnering a lot of attention into like careers and like people connecting and networking. So I think like I don't know if you had that in mind, but I think you should also get in touch with a lot of them. In terms of the SAS, I think it's a really good opportunity for students at Illinois Tech. I don't think we have something similar to this, so I don't see a reason why we shouldn't pass this. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, Jacob, go ahead.
SHIP exists, SWE exists. This should also exist, and not only exist for the on the justification of those other two existing, but also once they do exist, should model themselves. So I'm speaking also to the people founding this that looking at the success of SHIP, maybe I think SHIP is actually a controversial organization, but I don't know much of that. But modeling after their success might breed success for your org.
Anybody else that would like to share their thoughts, or else we can move into previous question? There's a motion.
Motion to move the previous question.
Anybody would like to second that?
Second.
All right, we will move on. Bolu, if you could release the voting form on that. And the other one if you haven't. We'll move on here to reports. Is Elio here? I know his class is running late, but
His class ran over. Then I know he went to get food because that like he literally hasn't had time to do it before. So I'm not sure when he's gonna make it in.
This
is
pushes slides.
Mario here?
Yeah, I'm
Ma-
here. Sorry for the late.
Mario. All right, we can go back to Rizwan. Are you good to swear in Mario right now?
Yeah, let's finish. Let's go ahead and finish that.
Okay. Let me see. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So Mario, if you're comfortable turning up your camera, you can. You have just to raise your right hand and then repeat after me, okay? Hello, Mario, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So just repeat after me, and you can see the screen, right? So just replace your name in the blank for name, and in the blank for office, you'll just tell your position. So that'll be VP of DEI or Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So I name do here, yeah, I your name do hereby affirm that I shall
I, Mario Diaz, do hereby affirm that I shall
justly support and defend the Constitution
justly support and defend the Constitution
and bylaws of the Student Government Association
and by laws of the Student Government Association
of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill my obligations
I vow to fulfill my obligations
to my fellow students
to my fellow students
and faithfully execute my duties
and faithfully execute my duties
as your position to the best of my ability.
as VP of DEI to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Mario, and welcome to the exec board.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right. So, yes, Elio is not here yet still, so we'll move on to reports, which the first one is Jacob.
The fourth point really encourages a lot of discussion from you guys. So I may bring it up again in person because I don't think Zoom is very conducive to that. Anyways, the first point is just that, research is on a standing committee. The second point is the biggest point really, is that, or the tied for the biggest point, that's the SCRA in conjunction with Chem Club is hosting, I want to say that Chem Club is the primary host or sponsor of it. They're hosting a grad school, an REU, an internship, like navigation panel that has PhD students from IIT and different university. I think NYU is the university or something of a similar caliber, and professors who are on the admissions panel, particularly David Min, who is an endowed chair at IIT, and he is very engaged with industry, and I think worked in industry quite a bit if he doesn't still now. So he's very familiar with startups and industry. And there's another professor. Anyways, what I'm saying is that this panel is going to have a lot of qualified people to be giving advice regarding this stuff. And it's not just about chemistry. Obviously, these discussions on chemistry can be translated to physics, math, other just other sciences. Even when I was attending the psychology one, there are things that may be omitted in others that are still valuable elsewhere. So if anybody's even considering grad school or you don't know what grad school is, you want to hear some more anecdotes to further consider it. I mean, this is a great event, and there's going to be food. What kind of food? I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good.
Raising Cane's. Sorry, Jacob.
Raising Cane's. That's great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there'll be Raising Cane's, maybe something.
With the
Raising Cane's.
vegetarian option. Sorry. Just
Oh, with vegetarian. I was gonna say even if you can't eat meat, the fries and the bread at Raising Cane's are good. And if you're vegan, you're just out of luck. They have good lemonade though. That's all. And then office hours, I posted in the announcements. I'll be in PS 255 every Tuesday and Thursday during these times. If I'm not, you can DM me on what's that called, Discord, or you can always just schedule a meeting with me at Calendly on that link on the slides. It's also in the announcements channel on Discord if you didn't see it. The fourth thing, which I'll give it a shot, but if it takes more than 30 seconds for somebody to chime in, then let's move on. And that's a defining question that was reached during winter break. And so the first meeting during winter break was the meetings were intended to be all of SGA general, and then like I think just like all of the committees, research, academics, engagement. But I don't exactly know which ones of those happened, but I know that the SGA main one did, and the big point was writing the mission and vision of the student government to kind of define our decisions. And so sorry, the crossroads we came at was, should SGA consider anything really, any student concerns that are outside of the university itself, i.e., if there's something, whether it's in Evanston or if there's something across the world, should SGA discuss these things? Should it welcome these things? Should it have it included in the mission that we will discuss these things and approach these things? A lot of the leading, I guess I'll share my perspective, is that a lot of the leading universities do, but they have the capacity and diversity of thought for it. I would like to do this, but there's also a perspective that we shouldn't be doing. We should only stay within the scope of IIT. And so I think that's a very important question, because we're at right now we're seeing discussion, whether or not it's the effective discussion that we would like to see about certain topics that are outside the scope of university or IIT. But anyways, like we're reaching the point where this question needs to be answered and established in either the Constitution or just the defined mission and vision of SGA. So if anybody has any perspective on that, consider things outside of IIT or not, please voice your opinion. I'll probably bring this up in a week though. Chris.
Yeah, as a constituent currently at IIT, I think I would like to see more emphasis placed on the issues within the school itself, more so than outside of the school. If there's like organizations who want to do activism work for the broader community, like in Bronzeville, Chicago, or even, national, international, I think that is something they can do. But I feel that SGA's duty is more to the school and the issues there than other things. But I don't think, I don't think we should stop like other parts of and other student orgs from, voicing about it, or stop, members of SGA individually from getting involved and stuff. But I don't think the body as a whole should necessarily focus on stuff outside of school itself.
I don't know if I'm supposed to call on people, Derek, or if you are, but I think people can just chime in, i.e. Sudeep, to talk.
Yeah, hi Jacob. You really raised a good point about indulging with other student organizations. But I think we have two perspectives of seeing this. Number one perspective, we are already doing this right now, because if you consider the student organizations around IIT, they are getting external affiliations. So if you see ACM is the biggest example, who are getting external affiliations from different external sources. So that is one perspective that we are already doing it, and we can continue to do that. But I have a second perspective that we should not indulge everything, or we should not give everything to that external external thing. We should have a separate panel, or maybe few of our members dedicatedly who can do that, and not rest on every one of us should concentrate on that, and like few of us should volunteer for that, and the others can do their job like what we are doing right now. So this will be my two perspective of seeing this thing.
Nobody has perspectives. My intention is just to bring these back into the executive meeting and discuss them after. There were actually mostly it was senators that were providing the discussion. There's a as 5-page document discussing this as a result of the winter meeting. So if nobody has anything more to add, what you heard here, I mean, it's basically the same points. Yeah, but what you heard here is going to be what's discussed among the exec meeting, next exec meeting.
Did you posted this on the Discord too, right? So like there was some feedback over there.
Yeah, I think I did right after the meeting.
Okay.
Abhinash has a point.
Okay.
Okay, Jacob, you raised a good point. That needs to be done. If we see the scenarios happening around us and all around the globe, we need to limit things within IIT to discuss further. But I think is we need to set some rules. If something is controversial, then we need to keep that away. I mean, if something is productive, then we can continue that discussion. If that thing can be done, then it's good.
Yeah, I think we should definitely take more time. The senators, I would urge you to like think about this over the whole week, give some feedback when we're in person next week too, because there's a lot of things that we can set in there are a lot of rules that we can set, but also there's like a point where these issues become like part of the school because it concerns the student themselves. So, it's a lot of gray area. So it's not really black and white. So definitely we have a lot of things we have to think about. But yeah, good point, Avinash. You can go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, and one last thing I'd like to add about this, and so in terms of like you guys discussing it as senators and as the e-board, I would urge more also in-person communication with your constituents and talking to them face to face and asking them about this. Because at the end of the day, you guys represent us. And your personal beliefs about it aren't, in my opinion, as important. Like, because when I was senator, there's a lot of stuff I did. I was like, I don't really want to do this, but the folks I was representing wanted it to happen or not happen. So, just keep that in mind when you're doing this, especially since it is a lot of stuff that is like controversial and very important and for a lot of people very personal. So make sure just to listen to your constituents.
All right, and if it's all right, Jacob, I think we need to move on, just for time's sake. I'll pass it off to Elio if he's there.
Yes, I am here. Sorry for my tardiness. My professor went overtime and my food was taking its time, but at the very least, I am here for the most important part, which is my presentation, in my opinion. So first few updates is, also, can everybody hear me clearly?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you very much. Socials. So the Instagram is nearing 1,000 followers. Just a few updates to the social media side of engagement. Any and all inquiries, please start sending them over to Sarah or myself. Sarah is now helping me manage the Instagram. I also started a new X account this week, and regular posts will begin soon. Again, any and all inquiries to me and Sarah. The Facebook ITSC, which is a page that SGA has been managing for a few years now. I need some Senate volunteers to help me with management. So if you have a Facebook account and you'd like to help me with that, please let me know. It's very simple. There's very little moderation that needs to be done. It's just seeing who wants to join the Facebook group and then approving people that have answered the questions correctly to enter the Facebook group, and that's about it. For the TikTok, reactivating it for the third time. Any and all inquiries to me, and then same thing for the LinkedIn, all inquiries towards me. Tabling. Ignore that last part. That'll be something different at the end of the week, but requests have been sent in. It'll start next month. February 12th through 16th. It'll be the entire 5 days out of the week. And I set aside 3 hours for us to use, including the lunch hours. So feel free to set up yourselves there. And they will also continue on March 18th through 22nd and April 15th through 19th. So yeah, like I said, ignore that last part, but if you are going to volunteer for tabling, it can be done in pairs or threes. If you could go to the next slide, that'd be great. Derek. Events. Cool. So events for the semester have been almost just about completely laid out. Earth Day with Chem Club is occurring on April 22nd. I am requiring minimum 4 senators in attendance to assist in that, as well as promotion of the event during tabling sessions and whatnot. The SGA forum will occur on February 23rd. More information on the forum will be sent out soon, but unlike previous forums that we have held with administrators being present, this will not be a presentation forum as we've had them before. This will be purely a discussion forum, a Q&A session of sorts for students to ask SGA about certain concerns or issues that they've been having on campus. So yeah, the World Culture event, which is something that you'll probably hear more from DEI and Campus Life. I forgot to include Campus Life there. Is still set to occur on April 13th, as well as a week leading up to that. We're trying to collaborate with Union Board, but I still do not have a dead set collaboration on that just because we were planning on holding similar events during that exact same week. So yeah, for Sports Week, that'll be happening at some point in March, and basically everyone involved, including the SAC and the staff at Keating, including the coaches, are all on board with it. They are very happy that we are doing this. So the exact date will be determined very soon. I need a team to help me with this, a minimum of 2 or 3 people. So if you are interested in helping me with the Sports Week, please reach out to me. The Greek Life Party, there's a date to be determined with that. More info will come from Rezwan and Andrew and Greek Council with that. But I need a team to help those few people in setting up this event. So I need minimum 2 senators to please help out with this. And if you're already on a team working on one specific event, don't worry, you can work on multiple at the same time. The SGA Research Gala, again, the date is to be determined, but it is going to occur sometime in April. The majority of information will come from Rezwan and Jacob, as this is technically a merger of the SGA Gala and the research dinner that we've been planning for a while now. This is going to be attempt number 2 at holding type of event, and hopefully we can get pretty good attendance. Again, there's a team needed for this, so over time we will probably start assigning senators or needing senators to help us out with this. Then finally, the Blackboard funeral will occur in April. The date is to be determined, but it's most likely going to be the week before finals week. We will be working with Joseph on that one. So yeah, rest in peace, Blackboard, at the end of the semester. Otherwise, if you have any more inquiries regarding engagement, that's events or communications, please reach out to me. There's a lot in stock for the semester, so please keep an eye out on the events. And please, senators, reach out to your constituents for these events. We need attendance, and the only way we can get attendance is if we have advertisement on all fronts. Next person.
Elliot, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you intend on having maybe a Google Calendar sharing all the dates that you have listed on here, or is that just going to be on an announcement basis? I know you wrote them all down, but I think it'll be helpful for, senators, student leaders, whoever is, promoting. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So basically the way I'm going to do the calendar is they're going to roll out as I get confirmed dates. So like those first 3 events that have confirmed dates, the calendar invite should be up for that by the end of the week.
Got it. Sorry if I missed that. I got booted out of the meeting for a second.
Yeah, no problem. You're good. Any other questions? Cool. No, we do not
No
plan
comment.
on we do not plan on engaging with Fizz, no. Any other questions? If not, we can move on to campus life.
So that's kind of a segue into campus life from engagement. We're planning a bunch of big stuff this semester with things. We also have another event that we're working on with Greek life, and then we're looking at potentially doing an entire week-long cultural week with Union Board. We have a meeting on Friday with a couple of us to start getting some of those details cranked out. And then we'll probably need some senators that to help with that. So if you're working on the cultural day, you'll probably assist in the cultural week at a whole. But I'd like to thank everybody who showed up to the Food Advisory Board meeting last week. The next meeting will be this next Thursday, so not tomorrow, but next week. And then some upcoming events Chartwell's wanted me to share. This week is Boost Week. That continues through the rest of the week, which is 26th, the day it ends. On the 29th during lunch, they are doing DIY caramel apple nachos. And then on the 31st during lunch, they're doing overnight oats workshop. Show you how to make overnight oats. You'll get some overnight oats. And then just kind of leading into that healthy eating habits. And then as Elio said, more details will be coming with events through the semester as we start getting more dates confirmed with these big events. We have a lot of people in the planning of it, so it takes some time to get some dates and stuff. What is Boost Week? Boost Week is Chartwell's promoting the Boost mobile ordering app that they use for Center Court. You can order stuff through the app for Center Court. There's also a couple other things on there that you can order as well. So this is like their annual big push, similar to how Amazon does their like Prime days to advertise Prime. They're doing Boost Week to advertise Boost. They are doing prizes and giveaways. I don't recall if they've announced what the grand prize award is, but if you go to Tech Eats on Instagram, it actually does have all the information of what they're doing each day this week, as well as how to enter in the giveaways sweepstakes. And all you have to do is place an order on that on Boost to enter into that. So if you order something through Boost this week, then you're entered into pool for prizes. Any questions other than what I answered for Jacob? Alrighty.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so this won't take too long. So we have an RHA meeting tomorrow. It'll be our first RHA meeting of the new semester and the new year by extension. So Food Advisory Board will be presenting, well, Mr. Nichols, our representative for Food Advisory Board, will be presenting there tomorrow. So certainly that should help inform some residents regarding getting involved in the Commons ecosystem, as I've been getting requests as to how to do that and how to basically relay input to what's going on to Chartwell's, and that is your primary way of doing that. We also plan on having a discussion. So the ORL just had an in-service yesterday. I was unfortunately unable to attend. However, I will be getting that information from them shortly, and we will be having a discussion regarding the recent power outage on campus that affected all but like one complex, I believe, earlier this week. I think it was this week or last week. As well as the fire alarms in MSV. And I know we also had internet outage in Gonzalez Hall. And I've been getting some reports of some other things as well. We had a temporary tapper outage in MSV as well. So there are a number of different little things that have been going on that will certainly need some discussion. I've gotten a bit of information from the RAs regarding what led to the fire alarms, as we had 3 in a day in that complex. which is certainly a lot, starting with one at like what, 3 a.m. I believe. Yeah, certainly we would like to get some more understanding regarding that, and hopefully we will be able to do that. There are upcoming deadlines for the RA applicants as well. The RA will be communicating this, but interview days will certainly be coming. Mainly I believe the RA sort of interaction seminar day where you interview as well as work as a team and complete exercises. If you are a finalist for the RA application, that day will be announced soon, as well as some oral departmental programming, which I'll be sure to share with Elio as soon as I know about it so we can get it on our grand SGA calendar. We also have an RHA calendar that currently has the meetings uploaded there, all the meeting dates and whatnot. So if anyone wants to be added to that calendar, feel free to let me know. I believe the SGA exec should be on the calendar already. If not, just let me know. And if anyone else wants to be on the calendar, feel free to let me know. We'll add you to the Google group. Alrighty then. Any questions? Yep. We can go ahead.
I just have two things. One of them is this Saturday, starting at noon. It's a Senate retreat, so I'll see all the senators there. It's open to anybody who would like to come. It's going to be pretty in depth on setting our goals for this semester and what we want to see done in the Senate for this semester. So I'll be seeing all of the senators there because it's required for you guys. If you can't make it, let me know, of course. But I'll be expecting to see everybody there. We'll start with lunch. We have some activities planned, some goal setting things just to see where we want to go with this semester. And then we'll end it with bowling at the bog, and you guys will be given a bog slip as well for an appetizer there. So that's this Saturday at noon. And then also just something to bear in mind is that soon we will have to elect our election committee, our executive election committee, because the elections will be coming down the line. By the bylaws, we were supposed to have appointed them by this meeting, but there is something wrong with the timeline in the bylaws, and we will have to overrule it, but I don't think that'll be a big deal, and we can figure that out down the line. If you'd like to serve on the executive election committee, you can't run for an executive position if you serve on the committee, so that's a big stipulation that you should think about. But if you would like to serve on the committee, reach out to me and we can start getting it organized, because the stronger of a committee we have, the smoother the election goes. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Okay, and that brings us to open floor. So I will pass it off to Chris. Chris just had a couple points to bring up, so I'll let you take over, Chris.
All right. Thank you. So kind of going off the discussion of the Executive Election Committee, as a reminder, I'm the editor-in-chief of Tech News, and it's not a reminder for people who don't know me, but we are happy to do interviews for people who are running for positions. And we are also happy to run ads for candidates as well. So if you're interested, email technews@iit.edu, and I'll drop my email in the chat when I'm done speaking as well. And then this is a little bit of a longer thing, but I'll try to keep it brief. So one of the things that I have noticed as a co-terminal student, which for those of you who don't know means I'm pursuing both my bachelor's and master's degree at the same time. There's been a lot of times where I've tried to engage with something meant for grad students and I just get turned away. I'm not allowed to be a TA. I'm not allowed to do exam proctoring for the CDR and other things like that. Because I still have that undergraduate status, even though I'm also a graduate student. And I know my fellow co-term folks have been very frustrated by that, especially those of us who would like to be TAs for especially tuition assistance. And so I just wanted to bring that issue forward. And I just wanted to see if there's anything that could be done to change that, or if there's a particular legal or, accreditation reason that is in place. Because it is something that was not communicated to us when, we applied to be co-terminal. And then I had a question about future org budgeting, and this is something that doesn't have to be answered right now, but I've been hearing from certain people that there's a rumor. So this is also I wanted to bring it forward is because I want you guys to know there's this rumor that funding for conferences is going to be wiped out completely starting next year. And so I wanted to check if that was valid or if people are just saying things. So yeah, if anybody wants to answer that, I'd be happy to hear. I think Dean Stats.
Dean Stats, if you would like to offer a point of information.
Sure. Thanks, Chris. Thank you for both of those points. I think everyone can hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yes,
So anyway, I'm sorry. So both points are super well taken. I think the co-term issue, I know that's probably not what you expect me to talk about, but I'll talk about the other one too. The co-term issue for sure is something that we're learning about new things every day. And every time that we, like every year, every cycle, and every need for students. So I think I love that. And I would love for whichever, if it's the Student Life Committee or the Academics Committee, to keep that on the docket and bring it forward so we can talk about the highest academic level to understand all the nuances around that. Clearly there are some, but I don't know that they're unsurmountable. So thank you for bringing that up. I hadn't heard that one before, so maybe someone else has, but we'll keep it on the docket if you guys can and take it there. The second thing about finance board funding is, so conferences are definitely, I'm not going to say they're going to go away completely, but they're not going to be prioritized as they have in the past, where the priorities of the and I spoke about this last semester, but it's still a work in progress, and we are working on like a finalish proposal to bring to SGA so you can ask these really good questions too, and to make sure we get it right. So the SAF is intended to be for all students. Every student pays into it, and therefore we think that all students should get as much access to it as possible. When people go to conferences, it's not necessarily that spending is not, you can't send every single student who wants to go to conferences. You can't, we'd use the whole SAF on conferences if that's all students wanted to do. So we're just trying to be really thoughtful about how we allocate money toward conferences. So it's just going to be scrutinized more. Like I've said this before, and I know it's been what Finance Board and I have talked about. And again, we haven't finalized any of this, but it will be more of the priority. The priority goes to the mission of the SAF, which is to enhance the life on campus. The second priority is the mission of the organization. So we do understand that some organizations, it's actually a really good thing if they travel and they go to conferences for lots of reasons, whether it be getting jobs, whether it be representing the university, all that kind of stuff. And then there's just the extra piece of is there even funding available after all of those things? So it's not going away forever and ever, but it will be one of the secondary priorities versus as heavily funded as it has been in the past. So that's going to be a change, but it's absolutely something that we'll continue to look at and make sure that we're doing the right thing. But it's just going to be an individualized process more than, okay, well, right now it's kind of like if you propose for conferences, we'll give you this percentage per person, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to be that easy. It's going to be a little bit more. So if you haven't, you should have noticed, I think Monique changed the application already to kind of focus more on what what you're requesting, how does it benefit the mission of the SAF? How does it benefit the mission of your organization? And then the decisions are kind of being made in that order. As we roll into the fall semester, we're going to stay a little heavier on those priorities. As we transition this semester, we're going to be a little more lenient, maybe not as lenient as maybe some would like, but we'll be a little bit more lenient in some areas than others. So I hope that kind of answers your question. If there are others about that, I'm happy to answer, but I don't know how much time we have left, and it could be better a presentation we provide to SGA at a later date, and or a sidebar conversation I have with whoever's interested.
All right, thank you. That was very helpful. I appreciate it.
Chris, could you also about the co-terminal thing? Could you also like send me like a brief email, or we can just talk on the phone about this, about like what the issues were or what they're telling you, why people don't qualify, any specific reasons. So like so I have the details. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send an email to you as soon as the meeting is done.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Jacob.
I had a few things that I wanted to say before this. The I do want to say I know a little bit about the accreditation thing that just happened later in UGSC that was presented. The undergraduate studies committee. It's a member committee of the University Faculty Council that was introduced. It was said that co-terminal students, and we have it in the math department where co-terminal students, they can be either a grader or a recitation/TA, but they can't be both. That's the big one. However, why you're getting the decline for being a TA, like I don't know if it's on both ends. That shouldn't be a thing. So that actually should be an issue that can be resolved. As of what I last heard, of course, Dean Stetson, Rezwan, maybe closer to that. Yeah, that's all. That's all I'll say about that. I also in the chat I shared a link about how the SAF used to actually pay like around $1,500 per student for conferences, and how it's since been going down gradually since then. So it's like each time, like it's a discretized process, but it is a process that has been gradual to reach this this low amount. Anyways, the main thing that I wanted to speak on was remind everybody that the associate vice president of academic affairs still is a vacant position. And if you know anybody, or if you are interested, yeah, if you know anybody that's interested, please, invite them here, have them discuss it with us. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are qualified. Really, anybody is more qualified than nobody. So please, if anybody's interested, it's actually an engaging position, and it's exciting. It is a little bit stressful though, but it's interesting if you want to know the functionings of a university. And IIT is a very interesting university to know the functionings of. Oh, and then I also wanted to just update on the academic affairs committee, since I'm currently not interim, but I'm like acting VP. And that's the two issues that are being prioritized, or at least have come to my attention immediately, are an inconsistent curriculum, or at least inconsistently, the curriculum is not standardized by the professors. There is a standardization set by the college, but it's not enforced well. And so there are professors teaching the same class, and you'll witness two students registering for one professor over the other, not just because the professor is a lot better, as you see with like Keong versus others, as this is the perspective of students. I'm not saying that Keong is actually better. Anyways, students are enrolling in one person's class because the other professor is simply teaching things unrelated to the what the course is actually intended to teach. And so, we're approaching this in both ends. One, meeting with the college deans to figure out a way to actually better enforce this. And I think yeah, that's the main one. And then the second issue is just the abundance of classes. Maybe not everybody recognizes this. Ryan Manthe brought it up. Avery, resonated the idea. I'm sure a lot of people have experience of those, especially those in Masters of CS. And that's the abundant class sizes that are affecting both registration and the class experience itself. So it's a big problem, but again, there's only two problems that I'm bringing to you here, and I think that emphasizes that the second problem is a huge problem. We recognize that, and so that's why there's only two problems, is so we can focus on it more. That's all. Again, if anybody's interested in VPAA to help lead these things or lead different things that they're interested in, please, forward them to SGA. That's all.
All right. And with that, we reached the end of our meeting. So thank you all for coming. Sorry, it's kind of a weird way to do it this week virtually. I'm hoping we'll have a someplace better next week. It will no longer be in Kaplan. So we're looking at some alternative options like MTCC Pritzker Club or Stewart 113. I'm open to other suggestions if you guys have them. If you guys have a strong opinion one way or the other or a third option, please let me know. I'm going to be working with Mark and maybe Dean Stetz on getting that sorted out so that we have a space next week. But I will see you all next week. If we have a motion to adjourn, we can call it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, adios all. I will see y'all executives in the Google Meet, unless we want to just hang out here and I can send this to Monique.
Oh, we can go to the Google Meet, it's fine.
Okay, I will see
Yeah.
you all in like 2 minutes.
30 seconds, yeah.
All right, bye.